Hello guys, you alright? I've been messing around with the new 4.26 water plugin, and I've decided on a new game, new project, which I'm starting to build, and it's gonna be massive. It's gonna take us 20 years to finish, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean, the usual shit. But I just thought you might be interested to show you what I've got. So it might take a second for the nav mesh to build. I've got it on a smaller scale, just so it builds it quicker. But I've got like the boat's moving around on it. Now it's not perfect. I've been trying for a few days to get the boat to sort of sit on top of the water better, but yeah, nightmare. But it kind of looks alright, especially if you're playing from a top-down view. This is the sort of view you're gonna have of the game. The idea is to you spawn your island, you sign up, you make an account, you got your island, stuff going on. You know, you've got crew moving around. You know, and then you can send the AI to build, get wood. So it's like an RTS, you know. This sort of stuff going on. But I thought you might want to know how I've got this to kind of look with the boats moving around in the island instead of, you know, you've got islands around instead of the big landscape in the middle. It's something different. So I'll show you how I come about doing that. What I'll do is I'll do a file, new level, just use the default. So we'll get rid of that. Jesus, there you go. Get rid of that. And I'm sure, yeah, that's good. So you're going to want, if you haven't already, plug in, type in land. That'll bring you up the land mass and water. Enable both. Click V, restart, do all that boring stuff. I'm sure you know how to do that. I'm not going to show you how to suck eggs. So that's done. Water in the search. Sorry, just jump back a second. Let's get a landscape. So landscape, create that. You must remember to tick that before you build it. Okay, so enable edit layer, edit layers checkbox, done. Create new, create, tick, done. Right. Now we're back into modes, select mode, and now we can just drag in the ocean, and it's boom, done. There you are. Now, it's all well and good if you want a big landscape with an ocean, if you build an arc. That's fair play if you want to do that. I tried to do it once, didn't work. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this island a little bit different. I'm just going to edit this up because you don't, as it stands, because of the fall off and the way it sort of ramps up, boats end up going across the top of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to mess around with this a little bit because we want it to look more like just got a text there, sorry. Where am I looking? Island. So we're going to drag in an island here just on the edge of the landscape. Now if you bring this up, you get this horrible fall off. Just make it a little bit smaller. Now we don't want that because it looks terrible, even if you're building a low poly game. So down in the settings, ramp off curve, I'm sure you go minus on this. No, that's create a hole in the world, but that's good to know. What is it? Edge offset? I've literally just practiced doing this. Depth is that. Sharp was 8,000 on one of these. I'm off rate 8,000. 0, 0. Right, yeah, there you go. So that's starting to smooth out a little bit. Fall off width 0, edge offset. Or was that minus? I know one of them you go backwards. And it kind of did it for you. 0, but like you see, you can mess around with them. I did have it figured out in the other one. But this doesn't like doing that. The way I got this to do it, because you can't get rid of that part. You have to have it for the ocean to work. So what I did is I went into here, found that in the contact, and then there's the island one. So I changed it over to island, and that gives us the drop off like that. And then I think what I did was, if you go to modes, landscape, sculpt, sculpt it up a little bit, then get your flatten tool, and then flatten that out. Obviously you can only touch the middle till you turn the fall off. Right, so then you've got that situation. Then you can see what actually needs to be edited. 0, 0. No, sorry. This channel depth. This is the depth of the water. So you want that to be at 500. And the reason for that is because the boat capsule component is going to be 500. The ramp offset is 0. In fact, no, I've done that again. That is 0. Which one is it? Set 0. There you go. It's starting to come in. So you can 0 them out. And you get more of an island shape. You can probably make that a lot better. I did on the other one. But it's these controls here. Yeah, it's that 8,000. There you go, 8,000, and that gives you that sort of island lippage sort of look about it. And then these are a lot easier because now once you've got one of these, you can just drag out another island and then change the shape, no problem. If you grab the right spline point, it is very good because you can just like key that in. I mean, it's really good job that they've made. Okay, so you've now got a bit of a scene. So obviously this project was working on, so I'll show you what I have got set up in the project settings if you want to copy this down. So nav mesh, mostly default there. The only thing I've changed is this will be static. Change that to dynamic, so it's always better if you've spawning stuff in, moving stuff. It's good to have that there. System. Now I've got 2 supported agents. Now I know if you touch that, everything stops working, and it took me a while to figure it out, but I did figure out how it works. All right. So add your 2 agents. Leave one as default. This name is important, so this needs to stay as default, or remember what you've renamed it. Then add another one, shapes, whatever. Bring up your agent radius to just, you know, for the boats to be, because they're big. So bring that up, 450, something like that. Done in here? Yes, done in there. Now, we're going content. What have I got? Blueprints. So the boat. Bringing in. Now, all that's in this is a begin play, custom event, move, call that on begin play. I've got, well, I'll drop them a little bit because I have made the map smaller. Okay, get the actor is the origin, which is the point, and then a radius around that point, random from radius. Normally that's like that. I've just made a float range so it's so you don't get so it doesn't pick a point which is 1 unit away. It's, you know, this is just for obviously showing off. Acceptance 500 because it's quite large and it could get stuck and then try and get to a point and then struggle because it's 1 unit away from where it needs to be. So the bigger the actor, pawn or character is, the bigger the acceptance radius needs to be. And then I'm just doing a delay and then I'm calling the move. Always run a delay here from on fit, because if you're running on failing to move, it's like a forever loop, and the Unreal doesn't like that, and you shouldn't be doing that anyway. So just a little delay there before you call that again, just in case it fails. And that is all for the code, just to set up. Character movement is fine. The only thing that I will say, when you are using and you've been in here, the project settings, nav system, if you're using this, you cannot use the crowd AI. Don't know, but it's all buggy. This is all Unreal side. It's not perfect. So just use it on a normal AI or create your own and use a normal AI. I tell you what does work. Instead of using that default one, what you can do, because my pawns, which I'll show you my other AI assets, this little skeleton crew, which I've got. Let me just check how big this nav is. Oh, we haven't put a nav in yet. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do before we forget and think, why isn't it working? We're going to put a nav in 0, 0, 0. Don't scale it like everyone else does. Use the box. So we want to be, let's round that up to, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And make that 10. Right, so that's covering everything. Nav built, and then to get rid of your light needs building, light source, movable, movable. Solve straight away. Right, so straight off the bat, we're going to move. Let's see if the nav is building. Helps if I build the paths. Now, that's a point. So, if you, again, using this shit, I don't know, it's just broken. But you can make it work. You just got to be very careful and make sure you've got to do a lot of refreshing and delete stuff. So come into your world settings. You've got your generic things here, and I normally put it onto this one. I don't know, it just seems to work a little bit more. Make sure that is on navigation system v1, and this is where you need to type in default and then open that up. Don't know why. It's just, I'm just following all my last steps, because if this isn't perfect, the AI just won't move anything, and oh, what's going on? The nav mesh is there, and I've spent so much time trying to make this work. But you can just open that, you can see both agents are ticked, and default which is default, which is in here. I'll leave this open next time, which is default there. And you've brought your nav mesh in. At this point, build paths. This will take a second. Okay, and now it'll give you the two recast nav mesh, the default here and the ships. And if you're not seeing that, if you go in, click on it, back to details, enable drawing, and then what I'll do is I'll just hide the water so you can see the blue is just a little bit further off, just to give it some space, than the green. If I go up here and then I can turn that off, so you can see my blue nav mesh, my ship nav mesh is there, and it won't, yes it is up here, but the ship won't, there's no path from here to here, so it won't find its way there. So even if you try and tell it to move there, it'll just fail. Green back on. So let it build, let it catch up with the ship, and now you've got your ship moving. Now if you've set that up correctly, you can then still use your pawns there. Oh, mouse is a bit slow. See, doesn't want to move, does he? Funny, isn't it? So you still do everything perfect, and it still doesn't want to let you work. Doesn't want to work. World settings. This point, this is what I end up doing. Chopping and changing that around. Refresh it. I then take them two. I delete them. Default. And now build the paths. It's definitely Unreal side. There's a bug going on, I think, because it just doesn't want to work sometimes. Let's bring in the king as well. Couple of kings. There's no reason why they shouldn't move. Simulate. So there you go. Your kings are moving. That's probably something on my end, that, to be honest, why he doesn't want to move. I'm not going to start looking into that now, but like you see, you could get, you know, pawns moving around. Turn the water back on. Ships moving around, and I thought maybe it's a different sort of idea to the water, you know, rather than an island in the middle. You could get something like this going. I'll show you the game that I've got, because I've made this all in sole multiplayer. And if you want sort of video on how to get AI moving properly and stuff like that, I can do a separate video on that. Binaries. So this is the dedicated server. Let that load up. That's all the landscape components it can't find. Usual stuff. Let's move that off. There'll definitely be in a couple of accounts, so let's make another account and sign up. The way I'm using this is PlayFab. So if you're interested, I can do a video on setting up PlayFab and that sort of stuff. And now you can see this is the sort of game I was sort of looking into. So you spawn an island, jump down into here. So this is your island. You can see the map. Other players in. That's obviously spawned itself onto the island. You know, there's a lot going. You can have a lot going on here. I'll show you what's. So let's jump down to island, crew. Watch, no one will move. I've just fallen straight through. brilliance that. All on video. But you've got like the RTS stuff going on here. Buildings. Crew. Falling straight through the island. It's obviously where I've been messing around, but you can see it's like a nice little thing, an idea I'm working on. And you know, this is obviously all ran on the server, so if I can find a spot to spawn an island, you see you've maybe got 2 ships here in the center, and you've spawned a few islands around here, and you can jump on a ship, sail over to the other side of the map, get resources, whatever. You can see, log out, come back a couple of hours, come back here, log in. Like I say, the server's still running on my other screen here, and everything's in. These islands are still here. I've logged in. Yeah, you can have something, you know what I mean? What I'm working on. Anyway, but let's log out. Jump back into the editor here. But I just thought I'd show you that as an example of another way you can look at that. I'm trying to get the boats to be floating on the top of the water. If I can get it to do that, then I will. The way I've got it to look like that is I've made the capsule component the same depth as the water ocean body, and that's why it looks pretty, you know, close, and that's just in the middle at 0, 0. But you know, something different. But anyway, let's see. If you want some tutorial, I'm starting to do tutorials. I've set up a what's the name of the stupid thing? Patreon. So if you want help building some projects, or if you want me to help you answer some questions, I know all about multiplayer servers, program code. You know, I've been doing it 5 years now. So if you do want to help, do jump over to there. It's like £1 a month just to, you know, get into the chats and meet new people. And yeah, if you've got any questions or if you want help with anything, just give us a comment, like the video, subscribe, so you see all my new videos coming up. And enjoy.